flesh. I mean, we're just but flesh. We're both just flesh. Flesh we come.
Because you that are the reason you're saying,
baby come.
Baby come now.
Will you say, after you?
I need you every day. Wow, I love your presence.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys enjoyed the last video. But yeah, today I do not know the direction this video is taking, but I just feel like having a chat with my roommate Faith. So today I have a guest with me. It is Faith. Faith, have a seat.
Hi guys, my name is Faith and I'm Micheal's most loved, beloved roommate, and I'm so excited to be here, obviously, because it's my first time and I'm just so happy. I'm so happy and I'm so proud of you. But yeah, I'm Faith.
Yes. So today I have some questions that Faith and I are just going to be answering. I posted on Ask Me a Question on my Snapchat, and people asked some questions, but then I've invited my roommates here. So just from two different perspectives so that we can be as vast in knowledge as possible. But yeah, so the first question is, what advice do you have for someone struggling with their prayer life and dealing with hatred? That question is actually very serious, because what's the first part of the question that stuck to me is dealing with hatred. What do you mean dealing with hatred? Is it hatred for yourself, hatred for people, or anything like that? I don't know if that's a specific. But if you are dealing with hatred for people, I would say that can be a pointer to what can be stifling your prayer life. Because sometimes when we have things, I've noticed that when I'm carrying so much, there was a time that I was telling Faith that I was actually fighting with one of my friends. When I got to pray, like time for my prayer time, I couldn't pray because the picture just kept playing inside my head and what happened, and like I think God was trying to tell me to deal with it, right? But and naturally I'm an avoider, so what I would do is not want to pray because I know that God would expose it, right? So if you are dealing with hatred towards people, that's something that you have to deal with God. And one of the ways that I'll say to do that is by praying for anybody that you have in mind. I remember when Apostle Arome said that if you have anybody that offended you, pray for them. And that day there was someone that like I had offense in my heart towards. As I prayed, I started crying. I didn't even know it was that deep. But that day, ever since that day, I've been able to actually pray for them in love. What do you have to say about that?
What I have to say is that, first of all, like, hatred is very anti-God, right? And something that I found in my relationship with God is not expecting me to fix myself and then I'll come back to him and then he wants me all perfect. And this, like, Jesus literally came to die for us at a point where we were as broken as possible. He even died for me before I even sinned. That's the kind of God that we serve. So I think it's very important that you just bring it to God in prayer. And prayer being a honest communication is like, God, I hate this person, or
be real. Be
I hate myself. Be real. Like,
you hate.
There's no point. Let me tell you guys one funny thing that happened to me. So there was one day I was in Barcelona and I had such bad thoughts. I'm like, man, thank God, like my thoughts, like I can hide my thoughts and like nobody's hearing my thought, because man, this is bad. If I heard a laugh, like, you're not serious. I can literally hear everything that's in your mind. And that was such a challenge that the fact that's already in my mind, God has seen it. He just wants to see if I'm ready to be honest with myself. I'm ready to be honest with him. So just take it honestly to him in prayer and but God, I actually feel this way. I don't like this person. Although the only problem now is, I know you don't want me to hate anybody. I know you don't want me to hate myself. I know you want me to have a different perspective on this. Can you please help me? Because I can't help myself, and it will help you. And you'll be so shocked at it. And I feel like a lot of times, like, we feel like God doesn't help because he doesn't answer in the way that we expect him to. That's so like over time, you will look back, you will look at the state of your heart, you will look at the things you've learned, and you're like, God actually helped me. And I realized, like, that's why people have a lot of testimonies to be like, I didn't get here by myself. You see, like, men of faith be like, I can't take this credit for myself. It's because over time, the hand of God has been so prompt. If we would be for you to be in a conversation. If it will be a tweet, like what you spoke about in your last video, anything that it would be, if it would even a desire, anything that it would be. So just take it to God, like he's sovereign. Like he's the God that knew that how to draw Moses. He's let them be a bush that's burning.
Because he knows us better than we know ourselves.
Better than we know ourselves. If he's a Jethro that he will send to your life to be like,
hello, what are you doing?
So trust him, trust the process, and don't feel bad. Let that not keep you away from the presence of God. He literally knew who we were before he came to die for us. He died for us because he loved us. Because he loved us in our brokenness, right? Yeah. And again, even in transformation, he still doesn't take away that love, right? Yeah. So it's, and I think it's beautiful that you can even be honest and ask the question.
Yeah. If you're struggling with your prayer life, honestly, for me personally, I feel like there are sometimes I just need the engine to start. And I literally start playing worship songs, because prayer is not meant to be mechanical, right? But sometimes I believe that there's some mechanics that you need to do to get to a certain point. And one of the things that does it for me is listening to worship or listening to, I'm going to put a sermon that I listened to on prayer, essentials of prayer. And one of the things that he said was that prayer requires your total man. And that's why when I read that question, the first thing that came to my head is that this might be what is prohibiting you, because in the totality of yourself, if you're not honest, that can't be your total man, because prayer involves your emotions, everything about you. That's why sometimes you see, just like when Hannah was praying, that it's like her mouth wasn't moving, but like it's the totality of her being was crying out to God. When I read that thing recently, I'm like, how was somebody praying? And I'm like, that's the totality of it. So if you are struggling, honestly, listen to worship. First of all, like what faith, be honest. And I feel like sometimes I feel like prayer is like, oh, you lock yourself in your room and just start, praying. Prayer is a conversation. You're having a conversation, just like we're talking right now. You can be talking, oh God, that's prayer. Sometimes I'm just like, oh God, like this thing is really bothering me. This thing. Just have a chat with your father. He loves you. Just like how you go and meet your mom with a problem, right? That's the way that when I want to kickstart the engine, listening to prayer.
And there's also some sermons that will stir you up.
Sermons that will stir you up. There's a 45 minutes, Apostle Arome has a 45 minutes prayer. I can't remember what it's called out. Hopefully I can find it, but there was a time that was this thing. I went to go and search for it. I played it. It jolted me back up. And even Triumph 30 devotionals. Like there are so many resources that can help us to just stay aligned, right? Because life comes at us very, very fast and it's not easy. And I feel like that's why God has blessed us with all these platforms as well. But in the entirety of it, the most important thing is your secret time with God, and you can talk to him and be honest. Like what Faith said, Lord, I don't like this person, they are vexing me. Not that you be praying that the person should die. God's not going to answer that kind of prayer that you should kill one of his children, but just be honest, okay?
Just be honest with him. And I think something that's just dropped in my heart as we're talking is the root of prayerlessness is a lack of understanding or a knowledge of your identity. If you really know who you are in Christ, you would want to pray, because it literally says like Christ is our life, like is my source of life. That means when I'm not praying, when I'm not communing with him, I'm not receiving life. So it's something that like the enemy has corrupted somewhere in our identity that makes us think we can exist without prayer. And I think even one of the first assignments of prayer is to actually bring you into the place. You'll be excited to pray, because like, what do you mean the owner of the heaven and the earth? The person that just says the curtain of today, I open. Like, do you, like who is calling himself our father? Who is saying he loves us? And like the kind of possibilities that are available for me it's kind of mind-blowing that. So like the root of it is and the reason why I said this is, as we're talking about sermons, there's one particular sermon, Man of God by
Apostle Micheal.
Oropko. It's 1, 2, 3. I listened to one. My tongues changed. I didn't need an impartation for my tongues to change. He started rewiring our brain, like he was teaching us about who we were. And he wasn't saying that, he was reading from this same Bible that I refuse to read sometimes. But like, he was reading from this same Bible, teaching us from the Bible who we were. And I didn't need somebody to lay hands on me. Just that shift. Like I was that shift. I'm like, geez. So like the root of it is, like the root of prayerlessness is, God, show me who I am.
Yeah.
It's also a part of it. Show me who I am. Why am I not wanting to spend time with you? Like you're cool and all.
It's an anomaly. It's
want
to spend time with God, because if you go back to the beginning of it all, God used to come down to talk to Adam and Eve. So it's an anomaly not to want to spend time with God, because I imagine that they anticipated God coming down. That's why they knew to hide, because they know that He's always going to come and commune with them. So it's an anomaly to not want to.
They actually, because it was an anomaly. Like even though in sin, they didn't think it wasn't going to come.
Yes.
In sin, they just had to hide. So that like it's just like as soon as it sees us.
Yeah.
But that's so sick.
Yeah. Okay, the next question is, how do I tell a guy that I don't want sex in our relationship and I'm practicing abstinence? I believe it's just by telling the person that I'm not doing. Do you get, like...
I feel like something that else came to my mind now is, and it might sound that I mean no or something, but like if you have this question, I don't think you should be in a relationship right now.
Yeah.
You need to go and find your first love first.
Yeah.
Before this, but scratch that aside. And the reason why I'm saying that is not because I think I'm better.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying that is I've seen where God has brought me from concerning my desire to have a relationship, and I've seen how that has changed. And I know this is a question that I would have had while I was in the world, like while I was still struggling, saying like 720 days ago. So this question I would have had, like, how can I tell this guy that I'm not going to have sex in a relationship? But now that I've grown in my work with God, I've realized that I have that question because I have not met my first love.
Yeah.
Because there's a way God pours into you. There's a way He causes you to see yourself, because you begin to see yourself in the image of God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine God wondering how
to tell Satan
to not mess with him?
Yes. Or telling an idol.
Or telling an idol to calm down. When you begin to go in a relationship with God, you don't even attract someone that is looking for it. Like when you meet somebody
before,
both of you are not.
You guys are aligned.
You guys are aligned,
yeah.
And the reason why you guys are not even having sex before marriage is not because of you guys. So he's not even going to ask you, because he knows that him having sex with you is not even only hurting you. It's hurting him, his own destiny, his own relationship. He understands that sex is a covenant.
Yeah.
He's doing something. Right? Yeah. So, but
that's it. So me, I would even say, just buttressing on Faith's points, one of the most popular, one of the lines that really stuck with me by Dr. Miles Monroe is, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Why do you want to be in a relationship? If you don't have a purpose of why you want to be in a relationship, you are bound to abuse that relationship. There's something that Faith said that really stuck to me, because I was going to do a video on how God changed my dress style. There's a way you see yourself that it just changes how you be with a guy. It just changes automatically, because you just see how God sees you, and you cannot settle for less than, right? You should be able to say it casually if you know yourself, if you have seen yourself how God has seen you, and if you know what you want from a relationship. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm sorry, that's not what I'm looking for. So is to just know your why. Yeah. Know your why and go back to your first love, so that He can define your why for you. So your why will not come from TikTok videos and there are so many things.
Unfortunately, you would have to be okay with the possibility that if I tell this person,
it's gonna go.
Honestly, I feel like it can go two ways.
You have to be that's what I was about to say. Don't let this guy say I'm going to abstain. Or just make sure that the abstinence is not because of you.
Yes.
Because you'll be in a relationship where you start feeling bad that, this guy is staying away from, this because of me, this one, yada, yada, yada.
It's not literally, when we're even saying abstinence, it's not because you are not having normal, regular, romantic feelings. The day that you are even feeling you're about to cross the boundary, because it's not a boundary. If you guys are not aligned, it will cross. Because abstinence is not because you are not feeling anything or this thing. It's just that I've just made a decision that my feelings will not guide me.
Yes,
is what it is. So the day that you are down, it won't be much of a thing for him to drag you because he was doing this for you anyway. And you now.
We are both just flesh. I mean, we are just but flesh. We are both just flesh. Flesh we come.
So that's the reason why, like, it can't even be because of you, because you that are the reason you're saying,
baby come, baby come.
Baby come now. Will you say, oh?
We answer you.
Are you sure? You said yes. Are you sure? You said yes.
We answer you. Oh, we answer you.
I just have to be like, sorry.
So,
I didn't know now, but you told me.
If you want to get to the relationship, make sure you guys are aligned in values, because things, feelings, just like what Faith said, like, you don't want to be led by your feelings, but there are times that feelings will cloud your judgment.
And you love the person.
And you want to make sure that
you like the person. It's normal.
You guys are aligned, that when somebody is weak, another person can be stronger. And that's the brief answer we have to that question. What do you think are the do's and don'ts while fasting, and what does fasting mean? This is such a timely question because January, I believe most churches globally are like going on a fast. So honestly, this is a
timely question.
What are the do's and don'ts?
Micheal, what are the do's and don'ts of fasting?
I've learned a lot about fasting, guys. I've learned, and because God has mercy on us. So God has mercy on us. For me, what the don't is when you're fasting, just try your best not to make sure that your fast is just about you abstaining from food. It's bigger than that. Fasting is bigger than, I'm staying away from food. Because if it's just about that, that's what you're constantly going to be thinking about. And I'm talking about this from personal experience. I will be so consumed by what is inside my fridge or what I want to eat. And I feel like another don't is that my fasting is not to manipulate the hand of God, right? I know that people say like, oh, you're having, this thing fast. It's good to fast. Honestly, it is good to fast, but you go I feel like we go fasting with an open hand, and it's not like, oh, as a result of my fasting, I am going to get this. God, because of who God is, God honors sacrifices, right? But at the end of the day, he still told us that no matter the sacrifices, obedience is better than sacrifice. So you cannot always just think of it as, I want to do this to get this from God.
And even in the fasting, you're maybe
disobedient. You're already disobedient. So one of the don'ts, I believe, is that your mindset should not just be like, I'm trying to manipulate the hand of God. God, I believe, like what I've known about God so far, God is a giver and is a rewarder, and he honors sacrifices because that's who he is, right? But then, I feel like to get the benefit of our fasting is to enter it with an open mind, right? Yeah. Those are some don'ts for me. I don't think you should be fasting and just I won't say don't, but I'll say just keep your social media activity on a minimal.
Yeah, except if
you really need to, or you can set time that, okay, I'm only going to use my phone for 10 minutes today. I feel like fasting should show a difference in your lifestyle as well, right? So that you shouldn't be fasting and just be watching movies throughout the day, right? That's a don't for me. I realized one of the first times that I've ever fasted, and I love movies, I love shows, right? I'm not against shows, right?
You want to watch shows to pass time.
I'm telling you, I just wanted to watch films to pass time because
it's just going one minute now. By the time you watch one episode,
1 hour has gone, 2 hours has gone. So, but you want to be involved in your fast, you want to be involved in the fast that you are having, right? So that's just one
Do you know one of my favorite story about fasting? I have told you now. That day I was fasting, and then I was so hungry, man. I was hungry. But I already made up my mind I wasn't going to break my fast, right? But I didn't stay away. I'm not sure if I made the conscious effort to stay away from social media. As I opened Instagram and I started looking, I felt full. That was a very strange experience. I'm like, there are things that can fill me up and it's not food. That was a very strange experience, and I think that's a pointer to the fact that there are things that feeds our flesh that is not just food. So fasting is not just for us to just stay away from food. Fasting is for us to stay away from things that takes us far from God. I've literally done a fast that I wasn't fasting from food. I was doing a mental fast, and that fast was anything that comes up in my mind that is anything that comes up in my mind, or any thoughts that comes about how I see myself, how I feel myself, how I feel about somebody, then I know that this is not godly, but I don't know how it is not godly. I just took those thoughts, I will write it down, and I started just, looking for scriptures, searching for scripture, asking God, okay, why shouldn't I have thought this? Why shouldn't I have felt this? And it was so like, I look back at that time in my life, there were so many thoughts I used to struggle with consistently. That mental fast literally broke it, and I learned it from, she just said it in passing, Pastor Stephanie Kia, and I'm like, I'm going to take this on. And it was powerful. Like, it broke the chain of some stupid thoughts that I used to have. It broke it permanently. The reason why I love Micheal says question, it's just this January, like, I learned a huge thing about fasting as well, because sometimes I'm just like, God, like, why?
Me too. I'm just like,
I'm like,
must we punish ourselves?
Like, sometimes
I'm like, God, I'm literally dying.
Like, I'm like,
I feel myself dying.
It's hard. It's hard.
Fasting is not
but I think
easy.
something you said one thing that was so funny was that, of course, you're hungry. Like, you're literally not eating. That's not a call for you to go and eat.
Yes.
Of course. Like, you are hungry.
It's natural for you to be hungry and
like,
fasting.
if you eat, you're hungry.
Of course. But the thing is, like, oh God, I'm messy.
Like,
you guys,
what else would you feel?
We've gone through a lot with this fasting. There are things that we didn't know about, fasting and all, right? One of the things that I would say is you do, just like what Faith has said, is abstaining from food, but feeding on the word. You have to feed on something to keep yourself sustained, because it's a natural phenomenon
That just
for us
to
be hungry.
Story.
It's natural for us to be hungry, so you have to feed
on the word.
Something.
You guys, let me tell you, literally my real life story. My first ever 3-day fast that I embarked on. By the way, that was a little, when I even did it was, but like, I was frustrated with life. I was just a chocolate girl. Maybe I was like 31 or so, and then I just finished school. I reached it, I was going to get a job. Like, jobs always come for me like very easily. I'd mismanaged my finances, and now, rent was becoming a headache.
Yeah, we spent our rent. Let's just say the truth and let them.
Yes, and I've not gotten a job. I went for interviews that I thought I was going to get. I always get jobs very easily. Now I've graduated. What do you mean, no job? And I was just frustrated. And I just saw a video. The girl just talked about, like, one day she did an Esther fast, and then God made a way. I just went, and I just decided that, okay, 12 a.m. today, I start 3 days fast. And that was it. And I did water and food fast, nothing. They didn't tell me that if you are fasting, you literally can't sleep, because your body, I don't know, like, you can't sleep.
When you're on that 3-day fast.
But this was just like maybe 24 hours into the fast. I couldn't sleep. I just sat down, man. I said, God, Jesus, I said, you said man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from you. I said, you have to feed me with your words. If not, I'm going to go and eat. And that's it. Like, because what else could I do? I'm like, I'm literally going to go and eat. And I sat down with the Bible, and I literally was fed. And the way I was fed was so strange, because till the end, and we're moving during that period, I broke like 6 p.m. on the third day. But to the end of the fast, I wasn't hungry, I wasn't tired. I packed up our entire kitchen, because we had to move out of our apartment. Now we spent our rent, so I chose an odd time to fast, but it fed me on the word. And I think, like, it's so important to not just take our word for it, but take it to God and take it to Him, so that, like, you're like, what you know about God is not just A said, B said. You don't have to preach to me that God can feed you with His word, because it's not a preaching, it's an experience.
And how you start your fast is very important. It's very, very important, y'all. It's very, very important. You need to start your day with the word. Recently, like, I wanted to fast, and then in the morning, because I'm so busy with my life and everything, and because I've been used to fasting for a while, so I felt comfortable with fasting. For the first time, or one of the, not first time, like, I struggled with fasting, but I was just like, it's not too fast. I struggled though. I'm like, it has never done me like this. But I realized that I was not starting my day well, and I was not going with my day well. Like, I was not constantly feeding, just like what Faith said. Like, feed, you literally have to feed on something, because we are created to eat. Like, we are created to live, but there's a reason why Jesus said, man shall not live by bread alone, because we're created to literally eat. Like, that was our form. You eat food, you grow, and a baby you literally have to nurture a child with milk, right? So that's why he's not coming to say that this is not a natural thing, it's spiritual. So you cannot live by just bread. If you are going to be like a spiritual man, you have to live by the word that comes out of, you know, out of God. So you have to live on it. So that's fasting is the time to really read the Bible and pray. It's hard because there was one day I was fasting, my brain was paining.
Yeah, do you know sometimes
my head is foggy.
Like, I used to try to convince myself that first of all, I can't even do anything. Now I can't pray. I can't read the Bible because my head is paining me.
Yes.
I'm like, you know what?
It's important to be very disciplined because a lot of things will happen. But it's also important. One of the things our pastor has told us is to be resilient and apply wisdom as well.
And I think that's why it's so important for God to be the focus of it.
Yes.
Are you seeking God or are you seeking? I fasted for 3 days.
Yes, apply
two different things though.
But one of the do's I would say for fasting is also to pray. Like you have to pray when you're fasting though, because if you don't pray, you're not gonna have no strength. Honestly, when I pray like this, it's like I'm jolted. Honestly, for me personally, it's even more difficult to read the Bible than pray when I'm fasting. But when I pray, I'm able to study the words.
Yeah,
because it feels like it feels like that journey is on, and it feels like that cloudiness has gone from me, right? And one of the don't stuff yourself the night before a fast. You're going to be hungrier.
Yeah,
you are. It's not wisdom. It doesn't profit you. It doesn't profit you.
It's even better to not even eat much the night before.
Just start preparing from the night before. When you want to fast, start preparing. And then another do is to ask God for grace. God, I want to fast. I propose in my heart to fast. Lord, give me grace to complete this fast. Give me grace to finish this fast. Give me grace to stay in your presence. Give me grace to study your word. Ask God for grace because grace is available. It's ready for us, right? But just ask God for grace. Ask God for strength and, things like that. And I'll say another do is just like what you're eating after you break your fast. Because that's the time that you're going to engage in any... and you can eat and feel sick.
I've eaten something that literally my stomach turned.
Yeah. Like after you break your fast, you have to be mindful of how you break your fast.
It's not just like when you go on long periods of fasting. It's
not just fasting, It's how you also break your fast is very important. And another thing is to stay hydrated. Fast, you might be feeling me personally, just stay hydrated, drink water. You need water to survive, right? There can be like a special call for you to fast, like a different kind of fast. But to the best of my knowledge, what I would say is stay as hydrated as possible. I remember, I think Apostle Isi was recommending like electrolytes.
So fasting is to draw us closer to God, not away from food.
Yes, it's not away from. And fasting, just like what Faith said, she said she had the mental fast. It can be different things. So
social media fast.
There are so many ways to fast.
So many ways to fast. We can't tell you
how to fast. But our do's is stay hydrated, pray.
Yes.
Study the word, listen to messages if you are not able to come at it by yourself. So hopefully we'll be able to answer this question.
This one hits home because it's a journey and
we're still learning. We're still learning. There was a day our youth pastor doing Bible study. He said something about fasting. I said, Uncle T, that was deliverance. You just delivered me. Because I had this one mindset. So guys, so much for watching today's video.
Thank you.
And thank you, Faith, for being here on my channel.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. I don't take this opportunity for granted. I pray that by the special grace of God, the Lord will touch you.
Amen.
To bring me back.
Amen. But make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's chat. Let's keep the conversations going.
Let's know how you feel.
Let's know how you feel, and if you have any further questions, please put it in the comment section. And tell a friend, tell another friend that the tea.
Tell a third friend.
Yes. That the tea is piping hot over here. This is where it's at. Okay. See you guys in my next video. Bye.